Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to part 3 of Fundamental Fingerings for the saxophone. Today we're going to explore the high notes on the saxophone within the standard 2.5 octave range of the instrument. And these are predominantly produced using the 3 left-hand palm keys. So these are the keys that stick out from the left-hand side of the saxophone up at the top of the saxophone body. Any note higher than C sharp, any note above that must have the octave key on. So on all of the saxophones, the octave key is operated by our left-hand thumb. And it should be a movement of the joint on our thumb to activate the octave key, not a movement of our actual thumb on and off the thumb rest. So our thumb stays on the thumb rest and we just wiggle the octave key on and off. I'll demonstrate what these notes sound like at the end of the episode, but let's just look at the fingerings of how we produce them. So D above high C is produced, all of the notes have the octave key on. With the first palm key, the one closest to the octave key. So we have the octave key on, and using our palm or the inside of our fingers, we engage this palm key. That's high D. To play D sharp, we leave the D fingering as it is, the high D, and in my case, I just like to wrap my index finger, the first finger on my left hand, around the front of the sax, which catches the second palm key. But this is in combination with the octave key, the first palm key, and the second palm key, gives us the note D sharp above high C. Now for high E, the next note up, we maintain the high D sharp fingering, but at the same time over here on the right hand side of the saxophone, we have 3 right hand side keys. Sometimes they're called trill keys. We'll just call them side keys. These are all operated with the side of your index finger, your first finger, on the right hand. Your thumb at all times remains on the right hand thumb hook. It never comes out from under that. So whilst playing the high D sharp fingering on the left hand, on the right hand we twist our wrist and we engage the highest of the 3 right hand side keys. That gives us E, high E, above high C. Now to play high F above high C using the conventional fingerings, we use the E fingering we've just talked about and we wrap the rest of our fingers around to catch the remaining left-hand palm key. This one down here that's a long way down. So really the palm of your hand or some of your fingers will grab that key. So we end up with the 3 palm keys on, the octave key, and the high E key, the top one of the right-hand side keys. Now, on most saxophones manufactured from the late 1960s and certainly the 1970s onwards, most professional saxophones, and nowadays even student saxophones, have what they call a high F sharp key. This opens the very highest hole drilled into the body of the saxophone. You can sort of see that top pad opening right up the top there. The designs down here can be very different. On my saxophone, it's a long rectangular bar and it's in line with the body in a sort of vertical position. Yours might be a different key, but don't confuse it with the F to F sharp trill key, which opens the key, the pad at the back of the saxophone. It's not that key. It's the one, you're looking for the one that opens the very highest hole drilled into the body of your sax. This is how you play the highest note in the conventional range on the saxophone, F sharp above high C. So we play high F as we did before, but with our ring finger or our third finger, we add in the high F sharp key. That gives us our highest note on the saxophone prior to entering the altissimo register, and we're not going to look at any of those fingerings in this series. Now, if we return to these right-hand side keys, the bottom key turns normal A fingering, so 1, 2, and whether you've got the octave key on or off, it doesn't matter. That turns standard A into A sharp. It is the conventional way to play A sharp on the saxophone in all keys where A sharp is followed by B or preceded by B. B flat, as we've looked at earlier, is played using the bis key and the standard B key. We've dealt with that in part 1 of the series. The middle one of the 3 right-hand side keys turns standard B fingering into an alternate way to play C, third space C. This is very useful in chromatic scales and also where B to C occurs as a trill. Now finally, for this series, we're going to look at the left-hand spatula keys here, the table keys that are sitting there. We've already looked at the G sharp key, the top one of those, but there's 3 other keys operated by our left-hand little finger. Those 3 keys are all played in combination with the low C fingering. So in the low C fingering, we've got all of the fingers on the front down, and we've got our right-hand little finger on the lower of the 2 little finger keys. So whilst maintaining the low C fingering, if we put our little finger on the outside, there's those 3 keys, outside, inside and bottom, the outside of those left-hand table keys, that turns low C into low C sharp. If we then move our finger across to the inside of those left-hand little finger table keys, that turns low C into low B. And finally, if we drop our finger down to hit the lowest of those table keys, the big long key there, that turns low C into low B flat, the lowest note possible on the saxophone, because all of the holes now in the entire tube and bell of the saxophone are covered. We get our longest possible distance from mouthpiece to tip of the bell, hence our lowest possible note. B flat, below, middle C on the piano as far as the written music goes. I'll now demonstrate those notes. I'll put up a music score so you can see what the notes that I'm playing look like. And that covers the 2.5 octave range, the standard fingering range of all of the saxophones. Only the baritone saxophone is fitted nowadays with a note lower than low B flat. It's fitted with what they call a low A key. And that key, if you do have a baritone sax that has a low A, it'll have another, it looks like an octave key, but it's actually the low A key that sits below the thumb rest. And what you simply do there is play the low B flat fingering that we've just discussed, but engage the low A key at the same time. And you'll get that semitone lower than we can play on the tenor or alto or soprano, sopranino saxophone. Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes. I really hope you enjoyed today's music instruction video. If you did, then you've joined the millions of viewers who have benefited from content on my free music education YouTube channel. Can I ask you to consider 2 things, please? If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll be updated every time new content is made available. Secondly, if you are in a position to do so, please consider making a donation towards the ongoing costs of producing these videos. It's safe and easy to do so. It's done via PayPal. There's a Make a Donation link on the home page of this channel under Home About. And there's also a donation link in the text for every video. Rest assured that any and all monies received will be reinvested in making this channel the best, most informative, content-rich music education channel of its kind anywhere on the internet. Thank you and bye for now.